Hey there, welcome to our second episode ever of Hot Elder. Hot Elder is this podcast that I've created in hopes of creating some subversive aging. Hot connotating desirable, worthwhile, seen, love coming out of someone's eyes, just someone that you want to be near. And then elder is about wisdom and leadership and someone you look up to. So that's what Hot Elder's about. So today we are interviewing John Sinton. Is your last name?
Yes.
Yes, yay. And I'm just meeting John, but already I'm very fond of you. So John, what's your age, if you don't mind saying?
I'll be 86
Woo, woo.
in a couple of weeks.
Yay, that's awesome. When's your birthday?
April 11th.
Mine's the 6th. Oh, we're
Oh, the
Aries.
6th.
We're Aries.
We are Aries, and Katie, who produces this,
Yeah.
the 7th.
Katie, you're the 7th. How cool. We should have a big party. Well, we'll talk about it later. We'll talk.
We'll talk.
We'll talk.
We'll talk.
What does it feel like to be almost 86 for you? I know it's a
It
wide
feels
question.
old. I mean, the body feels old, but I'm just. I wake up every day thrilled that I'm here and thankful. I'm just every day is for me a mitzvah, something to be thankful for.
Yeah.
On a river, and we live right off the Mill River, and I'm a river rat, and I've written about rivers and loved rivers my whole life. And one of the first earliest memories I have, when I was maybe 4 years old, was riding the current of the Truckee River in California, riding the current of the river on my father's back with my arms around his neck as we bumped down a fast current and then floated back out into the backwater and do it again, Daddy.
Oh, it sounds so much fun.
And so the sense of being in the water like that, sense of being in a river, has never left me.
So in some ways, you still like maybe your body feels
My body
older,
still holds that.
but your mind is joyful, and you have a blessed life.
Totally blessed. Yeah.
Right on.
Very lucky.
Is it what you thought it would be?
No, I had no thoughts about what it would be. I think, like most young people, it is unimaginable. And so, no, I was looking forward simply to living through life. I had models in mind for who helped. I would say, shepherd me through, even if they had died, they're in the back of my mind. So I wasn't thinking about aging much.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
What do you do with your time right now?
I have always been a volunteer of some sort. I don't feel completed unless I have something to give. In this case, I will spend the first 2 or 3 hours of a morning writing a family history which is a complicated and interesting, absorbing
Is this
journey.
for a book, or is this just for your
This,
own?
I don't think it'll be a book. It'll remain as a manuscript. And if it becomes a book, it becomes a book. but it will go out into the world. And then I will always do some kind of activity. I'll walk, I'll go down to the Y. If there's a lane open, I'll swim.
Oh, nice.
And then I'll come back and take a nap. I'll take a 4 o'clock nap, and then I'll make dinner because I'm usually the cook.
Oh, that's nice.
And there's always reading, lots of reading.
Does the world look different to you now than it did in your
The
youth?
world looks the same, but the wrong same. What would I mean by that?
Yeah, like what do you mean by that?
I'm an historian by training.
Okay.
So I have this kind of really long
Expansive,
look, and since I've been in the valley, one of the great gifts that I've received is from 2 Abenaki historians, 2 women who write history,
Oh, wow.
which has given me a much greater understanding of the land that I'm living on and the history that I'm carrying with me, because everybody carries their history around. And I know enough of history to know that things will come back, that different themes will appear and disappear, and then all of a sudden they'll return when you least want them to.
Oh.
So, in other words, what we're living through right now has always been there, but to imagine that this country would have chosen the wrong path is to relive the wrong kind of thing that I was hoping we wouldn't.
Yeah.
Since I was born just before the opening of the Second World War, just a few months before it began,
Yeah.
in San Francisco, which looked out to the Pacific and Japan instead of Germany, although everybody in my family came from Germany.
Yeah.
I saw, of course, the United States as a beacon, like everybody else
Yeah.
seemed to, and we carried the tradition of generosity and openness for so many decades in my early years that by the time we got to the 60s and 70s, I thought that was normal. These are normal times. But I had, through all the white privilege that I had not earned but carried with me, I had sublimated these facts. The last of the lynchings was done when I was in high school.
Oh.
The Civil War still held its grip on the history of the United States. Just after I was born, the Japanese had been interned in California. All of these things had been sublimated because we were so glorious. So what I see now happening has always been there.
It's out in the open.
The country has now chosen those breaks my heart. It just breaks my heart. So
not all of us.
Well, most of us will be heartbroken.
Yes.
We will be a different country at the end of 4 years. So anyway.
Nice light topic. But I love that's what this is about. It's not about light, it's about deep actually. So thank you for that.
How we get through this, how we hold ourselves together is our job for the next decade that we have to pass on to our children.
Right.
And lean on them.
Teach them right, then lean on them.
Yeah.
Right. Right. I almost don't want to leave that, but I will. I'm going to ask you the next question. I'm going to ask the next question, but I think maybe we'll come around back to. I think we will, because we're going to be talking about your life, and you're a historian, so it's going to go back to that, I'm sure. Okay, what are some of the high points of your life?
Oh gosh, well, after the age of 4, going down the Truckee River, it's all downhill from there. That's it.
All right, we're done. There might have been something else.
There might have been
something else.
What?
I guess
These are funny.
was also only like what, 82 bad years, 4 good years.
Excuse me. The high points. As a child, playing little puppy on the rugs with my dearest sister, finding love in her, and understanding that there is love in the midst of a dysfunctional family. That's always been with me. That there is love in the brutality that often surrounds us. Learning languages when I was young. First French, then Russian, then German, and listening to the sounds of language, which is originally, I think, everybody sang, and then they started speaking after they were singing in choir.
In general, you mean, like historically, people sang first before?
No, this is just.
Your way.
This is my.
Okay.
This is my imagination.
I was excited. I was like, really? We all sang first? Oh, that's beautiful.
No, my wife, my dearest wife, Wendy, says, believe half of what he says, if you're lucky. Music, playing the piano, singing, and in college, picking up the mandolin and playing bluegrass with my friends. Learning. I loved learning. I loved, yes, languages, of course. But early on, I was deeply attracted to knowledge and curious. So, and that's followed me, I think, through my life. The birth of our children, all of them.
How many you got?
We have 5 boys, but 3 from the first marriage and 2 from the second. My glorious times with them that continue. Discovering that after a horrible year in which the foundations of my life were pulled out, or I helped destroy them through a divorce and firing, and it was one of those awful years. But that there was, after that, there was this rebirth. There was this renaissance in me. I found that there were strengths in me that I hadn't known were there. That became the pillars on which I built my life with my wife, and then 2 other children. Teaching. There were days of teaching I loved.
Where did you teach?
Originally, I taught European. I was trained as a Europeanist and a Russian historian in the 1960s, right in the depths of the Cold War. And
what school were you at?
I was at Indiana University for grad school. And as I look back on it, I realize that I went to grad school only 7 years after Stalin died.
Oh.
So that whole first part of my life all of a sudden came into focus. That I was living through an historic period that was remaking the world.
Wow. Yeah. That's true.
And it was deeply interesting to me. But I've discovered, even though I like the teaching, I discovered that I was not cut out to be a historian, researcher, sitting in the library. But you spend a lot of time in the library, and I was wanting to go to the bathroom. So too often. That was my sign that was probably I shouldn't do that.
You got antsy.
And so I changed my life, went to UMass.
Oh, that's how you came
postdoc.
here.
That's when I came here, 1967.
Oh, wow.
Which is a while ago.
Yeah.
And remade my life so that I could teach things that are outside. I became an environmental planner, an environmental historian, and a student of rivers, a historian of rivers, and a historian of landscapes.
So here's the water flowing right through.
Here's the water.
And where did you teach after that, or did you just
I did. Yeah, I went. I was at UMass.
Okay.
As a postdoc, I was teaching there as an instructor, and then my wife and I formed a consulting firm for environmental consulting in 1970, which is when the National Environmental Protection Act was first signed. It was just enormously exciting. And we formed a consulting firm. And the first job that we did was to work with the United Nations planning office in the island of Jamaica. And our job was to write the recreation and outdoors plan for essentially the environmental plan for the island of Jamaica.
Wow.
So my
was
job...
Was that a grant, or was that just like a full-time job? Or
it was a United Nations, it's a job that went on for a year. You know, we were hired by...
That is so cool.
Well, it was not bad.
And you lived in Jamaica for a year.
I had to live in Jamaica. We only lived in Jamaica for a few months.
Okay.
And then we continued to write later. But one of my jobs was to visit every beach on the island.
Oh, you poor thing.
to assess it for recreation possibilities. And it was nice. But then
you're like, let's see, how can I have recreation here?
Yes.
I'll lie here.
Yes.
I'll lie here.
The difficulty, of course, is that you see the underpinnings of a deeply racist society.
Oh.
And the lighter you were in Jamaica, the better off you were, even there.
Even there.
And the corruption of the government. So you see that other side as well. Just the fact that under British, they took British law, and under that law, their own residents could not visit the beaches. The beaches were owned, or the beachfronts were owned by the hotels. So it's a mixed bag.
Yeah.
You learn things. And then a new college opened up called Stockton, which is now Stockton University. Opened the same year as Hampshire, I think.
Oh, wow.
Environmentally oriented. And so I went down there in '71.
Where's that?
near Atlantic City.
Okay.
But for me, it was just wonderful establishing a new college, and it was exciting for all of us. Studying, working with students on plans for what became a national recreation area. So I felt that I was really contributing something. It is Cape May, yeah, all the way down into Cape May.
That's where the best birding is. That's so cool.
It's the best birding.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've always wanted to go.
Oh, you need to go.
In May.
Right,
end of May?
Or go in October.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's on my bucket list. That's so cool.
It's the best.
That's awesome. That's so awesome.
Because I grew up outside. I was in nature as a kid. I was always outside. That's another song.
Well, that's also a positive thing. That's a highlight.
Yeah. Retiring is a highlight. Living in Europe.
Oh.
I had to live in Europe. I had to live in.
You poor thing.
Had to live in Paris when I was a graduate student. So I had lived a year in Paris. That was in the early 60s. And then we also lived, when I was doing environmental work and environmental history, I made contact with Europeans. And so ultimately in the 90s, by the time it got into the 90s, I was a kind of a research senior guy.
Okay.
And a senior person gets to get around to go to conferences.
Oh, that's cool.
So we spent a Fulbright year in Cologne, Germany, which was pretty extraordinary. And that, as a Jew, I had kind of I'd crossed Germany off my list as places to go, but when we got there, I reconciled with Germany as they have reconciled with their own past. Most of them, much of them. What in German is called a Versöhnung, which is a family sense of reconciling.
I've heard about this from my friends from Germany, which is amazing.
Yeah. And teaching the students there is wonderful. Writing about the Rhine River. And
More river. Yeah.
So I came back here. We retired in 99.
You retired in 99?
Yeah, when I was 60.
So you've been retired for a while.
For a long time.
That's lucky.
Very lucky.
Yeah.
I got a good deal on health insurance. I'm not kidding.
No, I believe
That was one
you.
of the major. I was the last group of professors who got this.
I bet that you had a really good package.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And came up here and started work on the Connecticut River immediately.
Yeah, it's a great river.
Wrote a book on the Mill River.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
What's it called?
It's called Devil's Den to Licking Water, Landscape and History on the Mill River.
Cool. And anything else that's a highlight?
Oh, gosh.
I know there's been many. It sounds like a pretty darn amazing life. But see, it's a good way to get to know you, too, because...
oddly enough, I don't feel I'm on that life. The stories just kind of pour out.
Yeah.
But I've never thought of myself as a particularly interesting person as a person. I'm just a person, you know.
Well, I guess you don't see yourself as other people see you, because you're pretty darn interesting. No. I'm enjoying listening to this. Yeah, you've got a lot that you've done. So that makes you interesting.
Yeah. Well, the things that it's true, that's interesting, but it's like when you write a book, you're not the book that goes out into the world, and you remain. You remain.
I mean, there's your soul.
That's
and then
what it is.
And then there's the
My
actions
soul,
your
it's
soul
not so
takes.
interesting. I find other people's stories far more interesting than.
Well, that's because you're in you all the time.
Yeah, so
That's how I feel too.
Okay.
But I'm sure other people might find me interesting too, but I really...
Well, I find you very interesting.
See?
Yeah.
You see? There you go, because it's a whole bunch of new curiosities
Yeah.
to learn, right?
Exactly.
Right. So we're all interesting to someone else.
I think so.
Here, let me see. What is the next one? What have been some of the biggest challenges you've had in your life? See, I go deep. I go quick, I go deep.
Challenges, oh my God, myself,
Can you say more? Challenges in yourself, of yourself, with others?
Getting a grip on myself, finding out who I was. I didn't have an inner sense of myself for a long time. As a child, I was not lonely. I was without a center. And I was not a very happy child.
Can I ask you a question about the center?
Sure.
How did that manifest? What did that, like, how would...
I would throw tantrums, and I just went out of control, and I never understood why. I have grandchildren. We have a dozen grandchildren.
Oh
Some
my
of them
God,
are,
yeah.
One of them, I love them all. Some of, well, obviously, I'd be much closer to. And I see her, she's 8 or 9 years, now she's 9. And she just goes into one of these
So she does the same thing you used to?
and I know what's inside. And I know it just is tearing her apart, that she can't control the world. Something's gone wrong. And I think much of my time much of my early life I'd spent trying to find out what the center was. And since I had no immediate role models, once my father, after saying something really stupid, and my mother remanding him for it, he turned to her and said, "What do you expect me to be, a role model?"
Yeah. Yep, actually, yeah.
Turns out. So there's that. I did find role models later in life. So you can only find role models if you know what you're looking for. So it was through entertainment that I was very stagey. I could perform well. I think a lot of performers have this emptiness inside they're trying to fill. Well, it does fill you.
So you performed in theater or just with their
in
teaching?
amateur theater.
Okay.
And then I would perform for the family and perform music. I would play the piano.
Piano and then later the mandolin.
A mandolin. But I never quite knew who I was. And that was the battle that I fought until I was about 30, when my life came apart. That's when I realized that there had to be something more inside here. And there was. It's just that I didn't know how to find it. I never knew how to work hard to find the things that I needed to. And I'm not sure that that can be taught. It can be role modeled, I think.
Did you find a role model?
I did. There were a couple of teachers. There was my Uncle Edgar. There was a great Uncle Edgar. There was my Uncle Bob. They were just really solid people. While my sister Joan provided love and support for me,
Yeah.
she herself was unable to find that center throughout her life. I couldn't save her. She saved me, but I couldn't save her. So it took that crushing blow when I was about 30 years old for me to find that center. And I don't trust anybody who hasn't gone through some kind of extreme difficulty.
Yeah.
I don't trust that they hold the truth of themselves, and therefore they can't speak the truth to me.
Huh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So I've been able to mentor students because I can forgive anything of somebody in their 20s.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear
The
you.
age of stupidity. You know.
It's a playground. It's a time to like make a lot of mistakes.
Oh, God,
and to be okay with being a mess.
But you don't want to make a mistake like I did getting married at 23 and then having 3 children and then getting divorced 6 years later. That's the kind of mistake you don't want to make.
And back then, that was such a common thing. You were supposed to get married so young. It was like everybody was doing that. So I think I'm giving you some slack for that because it was kind of an unsaid, that's what you're, or even a said, this is what you're supposed to do. You know, you're supposed to get married early and
you
have
to give yourself some slack.
Yeah.
And come back from whatever it is.
Right.
It's kind of you, but it's more important for yourself.
Right.
To forgive yourself.
There. Yeah.
No more there, just come on.
Well, also forgive yourself though too, yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, and it's a process too, right?
Where were we? I don't know.
All right, I'll ask you the next question.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we'll go back.
Yeah.
Challenges in your life. So when you were 30, that was one of the biggest ones, where you found yourself. You lost yourself, and then you found yourself in a bigger way.
I didn't even have a self.
So you became, you found yourself.
I became, yeah.
So that challenge actually became a success.
Yeah.
That's.
You can, you either do that or, you know.
Right. I like that idea of it's either a gift or a learning lesson. A gift comes easy, a learning lesson comes hard, but if you go through it, it becomes a bigger gift than the easy stuff.
That's the mitzvah.
There's a mitzvah. Are there any other challenges you wanted to share with me before I ask you the next question?
I think, there's always a challenge when you're married. When you get old, the balance in your life changes. You have to figure out how to get along with each other when you're together so much. And
you're both retired, so you have a lot of time together.
And you have a lot of time together, and you're not quite the same person when you're 80 than you were when you're 50 or 60. You see that time, 50s, you're very, very busy. You've got midlife, you're taking care of the younger people, you're taking care of the old people, you're right in the middle between them. And so whatever difficulties you might have personally are sublimated.
Put on the shelf.
Put on the shelf for the moment. So who you really are becomes absolutely clear when you're in your 80s. I mean, you can't. A schmuck when they're young is going to be a schmuck when they're old.
Yes.
You know, you earn your old age. You either earn the schmuckery or you earn the glory.
Of living by the river.
And living by the river, yeah. So, that's a difference. You have to come to terms with each other and yourself and find peace. It's very hard to find the kind of peace you look for when you're old, because you're not looking for that kind of peace when you're younger.
Mm. I want to ask you just really briefly about that peace. What does that look like?
Acceptance of death, acceptance of yourself, acceptance acceptance of your past. I do Tai Chi most days, and one of the things my Tai Chi master taught me was that in Tai Chi you must learn to lose. There is not a competition. You will lose. You will take a position, you can't hold it, whatever it happens to be. And this is particularly true when you get old. You don't have a choice. Your muscles aren't there anymore. Your brain is not there. You lose. You learn to lose, and you either do it gracefully or you do it like, who is it, Dylan Thomas's father, rage against the dying of the light.
So you push against the waves.
Yeah.
And then you suffer more.
And then you suffer. But there are those who prefer the suffering. I mean, that's what they, there are, or prefer the raging. You learn that by the time you get that old, you should have learned it when you're in your 50s, that your grown children are right. They're always right. Yeah.
Something to look forward to. I have a 14-year-old, almost 13, almost 14. She's 13. Yeah. I had her late, so.
No,
so it'll be my 60s. Although she's already right.
She's My mother would say, look, do you really want on your gravestone to have it read, I had the right of way?
That's a good point.
Okay, then.
I like that. I think I'll hold that piece.
Yeah.
All right. In what ways do you see yourself as valuable, sexy, desirable, wanted, cherished, lovable, a light of love, or appreciated? Is that the same or different than how you viewed yourself in your youth? Does the world mirror your internal experience? If the world doesn't, how much does that matter to you?
Not at all.
Do you still feel seen, like wherever you go, do people connect with you?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah. What do you think creates that?
Well, I think the thing that we talked about last time.
Why don't you say a little more?
I don't see myself as that interesting a person. I find other people more interesting, and so they like to talk. I can get people to say things that they would not ordinarily say, which are the surprising things that come out.
Yeah, people do love to be heard.
Yes.
They do. And I love to listen, and you love to listen, so that's a gift.
Yeah.
So you feel wherever you go, if you want to connect with people, you can.
I do. I've always felt that.
People connect with you.
When I got fired from my job, my first job, I was elected the Teacher of the Year award.
Oh, wow.
So I got that, right?
You were fired by the job that they gave you Teacher of the Year?
Yeah, I would have fired myself.
Oh.
I was an arrogant young man, and I've made no bones about it in front of my department chair.
Wow.
I was really arrogant, and I may have been attractive enough in my personality, but just arrogant.
A lot of young men can be that way.
It was only after working with a couple of mentors in my midlife that I realized that I was at the level which satisfied me.
So it ended up satisfying you.
Right.
It wasn't about someone else. It was
No.
about you.
No, it had to do with me to earn the respect of these other people so that I could just ease off and do the work, and the work was good. And I knew
how
when the
old were
work
you
was
when that
good.
started to
It's very
happen?
hard to figure out. How old was I when that happened? 45, I guess.
So you were established
around
for a
there.
while.
Yeah.
And it was like that place where you could just sink in.
Yeah, it could. It wasn't a sinking, it was a leveling off. It was an acceptance. I am that good, well, however good that happens to be.
No, so it was like, I'm wondering, you know, the term imposter syndrome?
Yeah.
You didn't have it anymore.
No.
You knew where you're like, I'm.
Yeah, I have no problem with
Right.
that. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna keep asking you some more, just a little bit more, if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay. What do you see your greatest contribution to the world has been? If life is a college and you were to get a degree, what would your major be? Those are two questions. So well, we start with the first one. What do you see your greatest contribution to the world?
I think it's probably the joy that I give to my family and to my friends. This sense that this is a you can find wonderful things in life. And I think, the support that I was able to give to my students and my friends and my family, that I was strong enough in the end to be able to support them and help them find some joy and still find joy. That's probably it.
That's a lot of purpose.
That's a lot. That's big.
Yeah,
Hello?
I think that's
Yeah.
That's what I hope to. Yeah. Yes. So if life was college and you were to get a degree, what would your major be?
Degree in joy? I don't know.
I like that too. That's like I bring joy to the world. I bring joy to those who know me. Like what else?
Is there something more important?
I don't think
well,
so.
I wrote a book.
About joy?
No.
You wrote a book about about
I
the
wrote
Mill
about
River.
that's a great comment. Well, I wrote other things too, but
Maybe we
you
can.
see, there are authors who identify with their work. The best ones, I think, don't. And most of the really good authors I know that that is the work that they've done, but not necessarily the greatest contribution they've given. Although I could be dead wrong on that one.
Well, I think it depends on who you are. I personally think bringing joy to other people, or wherever you go, bringing a little joy, that's hot shit.
Well, I also think that comes from a deep sense of Judaism, which, and I'm not a practicing Jew, but that is through all the awfulness of Jewish history, that every holiday we have, it's terrible trials and tribulations.
Totally.
Almost all of them.
It's all like about a war.
Even
this
if it's
war, that running away.
On the happy ones, like
Purim?
Purim,
Arbor
like
Day?
Purim.
Purim's like a horrible story.
Yeah, it turns out the story is terrible, and once there was a wicked man, and Haman, what is his name, sir? And will Nassim home and Tashim. So,
Like eventually we won
Yeah,
and they
that's
die.
right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I hear you.
So, so despite all of that, Jews have brought extraordinary joy into the world, and I think that is
There's a lot of good
that's
Jewish
part of it.
values.
Huge. Yeah.
Like tzedakah. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, some of those things that, I mean, I think
Tikkun
that,
olam.
yeah, yes, totally.
That is to
You might wanna
heal the
say-
world.
Yeah. I mean, it's beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
It's, every religion has dogma and every religion has beauty to it.
Right.
So it sounds like you're taking in the part,
Yeah, and there's this Jewish way of expressing that
what's that?
with a certain irony and this kind of questioning and this life is weird.
Is it like the Borscht Belt humor?
No, it's a little deeper than that. Isn't this weird that we're here together, that all these things are happening? This is kind of, it's the ironies. It's the ironic sense of being able to express yourself any way you want in a world which has tried to keep you away, keep you out.
What do you want to be remembered for? I mean, I have a feeling I have a sense.
Well,
but
the joy that I'm given,
that's what I thought.
and the love that you can share, and I want to be remembered for my touch. What did it feel like to get a hug from Grandpa? You know?
Oh, I love that.
And for the only lesson which I could ever teach, which was how to be yourself.
Well, I'm sure you're helping that 9-year-old girl too, your grandchild.
She will be. She's very strong.
Well, if you know, it sounds like you
Yeah.
you get her. Which there's
Yeah.
nothing like being understood. That's like a huge gift,
Yeah.
you know. How do you view young people today?
Same as old people.
Are they?
I'm not sure. How do I view young people? I don't, since I don't understand the world in which they're growing up,
Right.
I don't know how to view them as a whole. I castigate them for the same things I would castigate myself for, which is lack of foresight and lack of care about, lack of a sense of responsibility that they need to take care of this world somehow because it threatens them, and I want them to understand that threat. And yet I'm not sure I would have behaved differently myself at that age. So there are kind of couple of different levels on which I see young people. One is a total lack of understanding of their world.
Yeah.
And the other, I see them just as I would have seen myself, that there's so much they could to improve themselves.
It's hard to watch.
So it's
What do they
terrible.
say?
Oh,
Youth
my
is wasted
God,
on the
yeah.
young?
Yeah. I don't know whether it's, physically it would be nice. I don't know. Physically it would be nice or not. People who have not seen me for 20 years, they come up to me and say, "John, you look just the same,"
Oh,
which means that I look like I was 86 when I was 66. Thanks very much.
I mean, Bernie Sanders gets the same compliment. It's not a bad thing.
No, it's not it's just a thing.
It's just a thing.
It's a thing. So, you know,
You just say, thanks.
hi. Yeah. I'd love to do the physical things, I think, but I don't have the energy.
Yeah.
So I'm not, no, I don't, yeah. I just want to do, I want to be able to hike 5 miles instead of 3, right? That kind of thing. That's minor.
3 is pretty awesome. At 86? 85, 86?
I don't know. It's not for comparison.
Well, I
It's
just want to say, bodies wear out different ways.
You learn to lose.
But some people
Yeah.
lose a lot younger. So
That's true. That's why one of the blessings that I have. My doctor says I'm playing with house money. Listen, I'm fabulously lucky.
yes, yes, and each moment is a blessing.
Yeah.
So my last question is, how do you deal with knowing that there's less time in front of you than behind you? In other words, how do you cope with experience, embrace the inevitability of death?
How do I? I accepted as a blessing that I don't have to, that I can lay everything down and get taken care of. And the only thing I would prefer is not to leave in pain. But others can help. They have ways.
Yeah, palliative care.
Palliative care. I am kind of looking forward to it.
Really?
Yeah.
You're curious what's next?
No.
Oh.
No, it's just, I would like to reach the point of accepting the inevitable, which is inevitable,
It is. It's totally inevitable.
I think reaching the point of acceptance is one of my goals.
That was my actually part of my last question. What's up next for you? What are some things you'd like to accomplish before you die?
Not a whole lot. I would like to just keep on keeping on. I'd like to finish up the family project. I'd like to do a little more work on the Mill River and its greenway and that sort of thing. I would like to simply be with my friends and my family. I don't have a bucket list. My life has been so full and joyful and lucky that it would be a shanda to...
Shanda.
A shanda,
shame. A shame. Is that
Yeah.
Yiddish too?
That's Yiddish. Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah. It would be a shanda to wish more. I believe in what a philosopher called the plenitude of sufficiency. How full are you? Can you be sufficiently full? That's full. When you have sufficient, that's full.
Yeah. Yeah. And appreciating what you have kind of creates that, to some extent. Yeah. Well, I thank you.
It's been a joy.
A blessing.
A blessing indeed.
Yeah, I feel like I got a lot
you.
from hearing you.
I got a lot just from being with you.
Yeah. Well, that's beautiful. Yay.
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing what your wonderful friend Katie does with this.
Me too.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day.
Hot Elder is created and hosted by Amy Dawn Cotel, edited and produced by Katie Beyer, recorded at eMedia in Easthampton, Massachusetts.